hello, welcome or welcome back if that's the case. Today's video is called What Trauma is Trying to Get Your Attention. This is a timeless reading, so the time where you decide to watch this video is the right time for you. And so this will mean that the trauma that is trying to get your attention is the trauma that is trying to get your attention now. This can mean like that this is a spiritual task that you are being called to work in a different manner, or this can also be part of a bigger system or ensemble of traumas. It's just that this is the one that is popping out the most at this moment in time. So this can also mean that if you decide to rewatch this video in the future, you might end up resonating with another or more different groups. Okay, so this is like the most important disclaimer that I can share about this video. I am testing the horizontal filming. I don't know if I like it or not. As I'm here today with the leftovers of yesterday hairstyle and my pajama, because a girl can do it all, but she will do it in the outfit that suits her the most. So yeah, let's get straight into it. We'll have 4 groups to choose from today. So what I'm going to do next is going to be filming the different groups. I have already pulled out the cards, but I haven't flipped them up. It's not upside down, right? Because the face is down already. Anyway, like I haven't seen them, so we're going to do this in a double blind setting. Anything else? No. Group selection. Alright, so for today's pick a card, we're going to have group 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can pause the video if you need to. Try to use your intuition. You can look at the cards with semi-closed eyes and try to see which one calls you the most energetically. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So group 1, this is going to be your card, Orion. Yes, it's the myth behind the constellation, in case you want to know. Okay, I don't know if I just got distracted or this is an actual channel message, but I'll leave it to the end if that's the case. We're going to start looking at the type of trauma that is trying to get your attention right now. So looking at the central figure, first word that comes through is backstabbing. So in more technical terms, you might have had to deal in the past with some severe betrayal trauma. And so I have 2 very strong main scenarios that are coming through. So either you experience betrayal trauma while you were in a inferior position for any type of reason or circumstances, like let's say that you were a a vulnerable member of the family and an older family member betrayed you, hurt you, spilled your secrets, or perhaps even physically hurt you. It could also mean that while you were in a situation of poverty or down in your luck, someone came and did even more damage. Or there is another scenario that might resonate only for someone. While you were either drunk or intoxicated, someone took advantage of your vulnerable state. So you might resonate with another reading that I did just recently. I think that the title was Have They Committed Any Felony? And there was one group where I had this download about someone who had like heavy frat boy vibe in like the worst possible interpretation. So you might want to look at that video as well if you need to revisit the situation and find more confirmation to go through it. Yeah. And then the other marker that is coming through is that perhaps the person that betrayed you is also, or in their way, in this very mediocre, sad, broke, lame energy. And even if this was a person that was perhaps well off, or like financially, or wealthy in some kind of way, perhaps they had family wealth, or at the time where they decided to be abusive towards you and betray you, stab you in the back. They might even had like a good job, but just know that if they did what they did is because spiritually they're like that, like this forever loser type of energy, okay? And so they are going to be dealt with eventually, because if spiritually they are dry as fuck, they cannot have the longevity to sustain whatever type of advantage they had at the moment in time where you cross path. So this trauma that is trying to get your attention might also involve people lying about you, perhaps lying about your character, or lying straight up about you being the target of this traumatic experience. And so something that could be going on is that in your current life, like if you are watching this as an adult or like a young adult even, the title of this video in general was what type of trauma is trying to get your attention. Now, how do trauma tries to get our attention in day-to-day life? Because there's this misconception around trauma where it happens at a determined moment in time and it stays there. if it was, or if it were the case, I can't. I can't really remember which one is the correct one. The case, there would not be any need to refer to the event as a traumatic event. It would just be an event. It becomes traumatic because it stays in the system, it stays in our water, emotions, nerves, aura, tissues, physical tissues, and it sometimes even clothing can be charged if very strong bad energy is projected onto the person who's wearing them at the moment. But anyway, what I'm trying to explain here is that even if the original trauma that is trying to get your attention might have happened a long while in your past, what is happening now are events, circumstances, emotions, encounters, bad experiences that are triggering over and over similar responses to the ones that you had when you experienced the first trauma. So you might even resonate with the scenario where you know that you have experienced some sort of betrayal trauma during childhood, and now you are experiencing in other places with other people, with other everything, you are re-experiencing betrayal trauma. And so one thing that is very likely trying to get your attention are the similarities. First and foremost, you need to understand what's going on, like why this is happening in a certain way. Like I'm feeling like carried away. Like you might be feeling carried away by circumstances. Like things just come in and they move you, and you don't feel like you have like full control of what moves you. Like it's not you all the time. It might be old trauma. So instead of reacting for your best interest, you are perhaps reacting out of chaos, out of confusion. What else? Okay, so looking at the reason why these old energies are resurfacing, and perhaps not only internally but perhaps also externally. Like it's very common with people who have experienced trauma early on in childhood to experience even more traumatic experience a lot of experience, but yeah, to go through even more traumatic experiences. And even if that's not the case, this card talks anyway about having to face the injustice that you have been a victim of. Okay, so whatever it is that is trying to get your attention, either through, as I was saying, current experiences, triggering feelings of paranoia, always having to look behind your shoulder, behind your back, behind your shoulders. It's the morning, okay? But like being like that. Having to defend yourself against lies, perhaps even having to face some sort of restrictions in your life in order to go through a difficult period. Or, as I was saying, also having to face old feelings resurfacing. So this is all happening in order for you, or like for you to get justice. And this can happen like the universe might be trying to get you in a position where you are able to clap back, basically, in the best way for you, because as I was saying, it would be justice for you. Like if whatever betrayal you have been a victim of would be like punished, or treated seriously as bad, it would be justice for you. And so from an emotional point of view, your work might be to learn how to use covering exactly what I was trying to show, how to use your temper, how to use your like rage outburst to make a plan, first and foremost, and express yourself. Okay, I get it. Like it might not mean that unless you might have to go back to the person who backstabbed you and be the punisher, but you might have to speak about them, perhaps even in a bad way. Yeah, like you're going to have a lot of energy, but just know that that energy is rage. So rage can be a very powerful fuel, but it burns out quickly. Okay, so you might have to like cleanse yourself, like spiritual bath might be very beneficial if this is like an ongoing process, so that when you know that you have that meeting, when you know that you're going to have that conversation, your rage is going to be there, and your rage is going to be the thing that is going to help you say, fuck it, fuck them, fuck whatever type of consequence might end up falling onto them. I'm going to tell the truth. Okay? But the moment where you leave the meeting, where you leave the conversation, where you leave the courtroom, and you moved forward because you spoke your truth, and you were able to express part of that anger that is definitely there if someone betrayed you. Okay? Just know that there are several ways to treat anger, and you might need to become skilled at treating it on several levels. Okay, so yes, do the meeting. Yes, be a beast if that's what you're about. I'm here for it for you. Also remember that also beasts need to take naps, recover, and rest. So again, spiritual bath, meditation. I'm looking at this guy like Yes, he's being backstabbed, but he's also splashing in nature, okay? But really, I mean, our body expels. Ooh, okay, so this feels like an ongoing thing. What I was saying is that our body expels or like gets rid of excessively intense emotions, because I mean these are like chemical aggregations of our inner liquids, okay? And so as we sweat, we're also sweating emotional baggage, okay? So take time to set your intentions as you clean yourself so that you can amplify even more the cleansing process, and be ready to having to repeat that. Having to repeat that like several times a week, for example. If you're going through a legal process that will take a while, you might have to learn how to integrate dealing with anger in your routine, so that you can actually achieve the justice that you clearly deserve. Okay, that's all I have for you in group one. So this is going to be a very alive period for you, sometimes chaotic. This is also happening for you, okay, as long as you let yourself purge and be true to you. Write it. You know? Write it, like, you know, sometimes I would see in a lot of spiritual pages, like, just sit back and enjoy the ride. You can't control everything, but sometimes you do have to take fucking control, and it's no longer a matter of enjoying the ride. It's more a matter of choosing the right type of motorbike, learning how to take proper care of that, but then also getting ready for a very bumpy ride in the jungle. And basically that's what's gonna happen for you. I wish you a lot of strength. And something that perhaps not anyone might relate to, because we all have different type of soul configurations. So some types of discourse or approaches can be beneficial for some, and also not so for others. But going through this type of period, it can be very heavy, very trying for the nervous system. Something that you can use to switch your perspective is trying to see this as a mission, because it really is. There is some serious type of fuckery going around in the world, and sometimes we kind of get appointed to take the ugliness in our own two hands and bring it to the altar so that it can be disposed of properly. And it can be very difficult, it can be very draining, can even get you through to days where it's like, why me? You know, like you might catch yourself thinking, why me? Why do I have to go through this? And so this is a legitimate question that you can ask yourself. Just try not to dwell on that too long, because remember that the goal here is to create movement and create justice for you, okay? So whatever happened to you is not supposed to remain inside of you. And perhaps, and sometimes that's all we need to know. Sometimes it's even worse to sit down and double into what kind of karma, why did this person do this, why are they so twisted. Perhaps one day you will have the time to reflect upon it, and perhaps one day the way to heal from whatever leftover emotion will be precisely learning more about the deep dynamics that went through. But right now you need to maintain your brain as light as possible and as quick and efficient as possible. So you might also want to learn how to be practical with negative feelings, like looking at the situation for what it is, meaning a shitty situation that requires you to deal with shitty emotions. They are not going to go away just because they're shitty. They are not going to disappear just because you need to find a solution fast. They are there to be dealt with, and so, as I was saying, like finding time, place, space, and balance to deal with these negative emotions. Can be rage, can be depression, can be even anxiety. As I was talking, can go even as far as paranoia. Okay, so really take the time to sit down and recharge, but in order to then charge forward again, you will have the time and space to sit down again as soon as the shore is reached. There was this thing that I would say to myself as I was transitioning from a very difficult period to another difficult period, but at least I was changing career for the best. I was changing city for the best, and I was super tired at some point, and I was like, well, you don't stop swimming when you are tired. You stop swimming when you are safe. If you if you are drowning, you don't stop swimming when you are tired. You stop swimming when you are safe. This doesn't mean like burn yourself out, okay? But perhaps learn how to swim slower and catch your breath again. But don't stop. Just don't, okay? Yeah, if you need further support to go through the situation, you can book a private reading. The reservation box is below. Other videos are available as well that you might resonate with. Other tarot readers are available as well that I follow and trust also about this type of subject. So if you require more collective material from this YouTube platform, just leave a comment below and I can link some of my favorite, it's not favorite, it's like favorites. If you want to connect through other social media platforms, that's an option as well. All my links are down below. If you're going, have a great whatever you're going to have next. If you're staying, see you there. Bye. Hi group 2. So, this is your card to answer the question, what type of trauma is trying to get your attention. So, right away, this card is called Tantalo, and okay, basically Okay, so first and foremost, type of trauma: theft. Someone might have stole stuff from you. Objects, ideas. Also talks about fraud, infidelity, dishonesty. Someone might have like promised you the moon and the stars, and it was just air. And from a spiritual point of view, I am being pointed out that this situation is a situation that involves greed on all sides. So you might have been victim of someone else's greed. Now we are going to get there gradually, but right away know that this could also be like a test, a spiritual test for you to not be greedy about how you want to control the outcome of the situation. Like, not be greedy about the outcome for the other person. And we are going to see why. So, first and foremost, I would like to define the type of theft and perhaps talk about a few situations where that might be expressed. So, just like group 1, this might be referring to a type of trauma that you experienced during childhood, that you never had the occasion or perhaps strength to stand up to, and that is now reoccurring in your present life, perhaps with other people, other places, other everything. And like, I feel like this is a very heartbreaking type of trauma and of cycle that you are going through at this moment in time, because the only thing that you can do right now to improve the situation, that's all you are being asked to do, improve the situation for yourself, is to first and foremost surrender to the situation. Like, you can't retrieve exactly what was lost, what was stolen from you. I'm hearing stolen childhood. This might resonate for someone. And so you might also have to go through, at some point in your life, perhaps it's now, go through a dark night of the soul where you kind of have to accept that type of childhood is not attainable. Like, some sort of experiences are gone. That could have been because of violent family members, instability in the household, or yeah, I mean, this probably talks about really like all comprehensive negative situations, because like I heard the message like stolen childhood, like but this could also be like creative work. Like I'm looking at this figure, how these two naked guys, like they are, like it says the theft, and they are carrying like a super heavy load. So you might have been robbed of something that was very valuable, an entire project perhaps, an entire opportunity, a large sum of money. And now you're kinda in this desperate energy, wondering if it's even fair to go through this type of things, and perhaps it's not. Like in most cases it's not, especially if the stolen childhood is the case that you're resonating with the most. But the problem, like there was a problem with the type of people that had access to your energy. And this is not to, like this is a very triggering thought to have. This is a very triggering thought to entertain, especially if you're dealing with trauma that was straight up imposed to you by people who had full control over you while you were completely vulnerable, aka, for example, a child. Still, what you are being called to do right now is take the power in your hand and self-bind to different ways, different criteria, different behaviors that are progressively going to allow you to never ever again open the door to the type of people that act like this. Like, for example, if it's like a child abuse type of thing, you might have to become very strict with not having contact with your family. If it's a more professional related type of situation or creative type of situation, you will have to learn how to be strict with how private and how secret you are about your endeavors, just because it makes you excited and you think it's going to make other people excited. You simply cannot share stuff with people until it's safe. So you will have to be really strict about who can you vent with, even who you share your dreams with, who you call when you need to take a break from your project and you need to talk about it. And so this dark night of the soul that is basically putting you upside down from a soul level, It's gone. And so this dark night of the soul is also asking you, just as you are asking for justice, for fairness, to give yourself justice in this situation, and to accept radically the nature of the people who did this. Never ignore small theft. Never ignore first small signs of betrayal. Never. Ever, ever, ever. And this is a lesson that you might have had to learn the hardest possible way, if this is something that was imposed to you as a child. But this is your time as an adult to reclaim your power back, and to show to that to show to that robbed kid that now you are there to be strict with the type of energy that is allowed into your space, that you are now there to provide. And when I was talking about like not being greedy with how the situation will go for the people who have committed the theft, first and foremost, it does not mean that everything is going to go well for them, because that is like one of my favorite theories. You can't really go far with stuff that you've stolen, because if you need to steal, it means that you cannot produce that on your own. And so in order to continually gain benefit from whatever, you kind of have to be able to provide that continuously. And that's clearly not the case for the people involved in whatever injustice you might have been a part of. So if you're spiritual and you work on your spiritual protection, and you work on your good karma, chances are that life is going to tap on these people dirty hands first and foremost. And also, this doesn't mean that you are never going to be in a position to clap back. It simply means that this is not the right time to charge forward full strength. And this is more a time to regain strength, to isolate yourself somehow also, especially from the people who have been apart. Like this is not, Spirit is saying that this is not the right time to fuel the quarrel, because you are not strong enough. You are still in this shocked energy of why me, why this, why did they go away with this, and you might therefore not be strong enough to reach your goal. I am all about reaching the goal, especially if justice is involved. You have to be smart about it. And being smart about it doesn't mean having to be all in your head all the time. That's not being smart. That's cutting yourself out of the infinite potential of the human creativity. Sometimes creativity needs healing. Perhaps the thing that you need the most is not to cuss at whoever did whatever to you. It's to be in nature, to enjoy yourself, perhaps even like take more care of your diet in terms of natural ingredients, fruits, vitamins, fresh stuff that you put into your body, the more the merrier. And eventually move towards that warrior energy if that is what your journey will call you to. Okay, but one thing at a time. I did a disclaimer at the beginning of this video to explain how to interpret and use timing. In this video, if you skip the disclaimer and you are still confused about it, perhaps you should go back and actually watch the disclaimer. If you need further support to go through the situation, you can book a personal reading with me. The link is down below. Other videos are available as well. And if you'd like to connect with other tarot readers that I also consider very good also in this type of dynamic, just leave a comment down below and I can link my favorite ones. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in, sending you courage, sending you strength, and wish you good whatever you're going to have next. If you're gonna go, if you're gonna stay, see you in the next groups. Bye. Hi, group 3. This is your card. Right away, I accidentally flipped the card before and I saw it, and there was this very short message, and I felt like, okay, I have to deliver this message first, and then I can read the card through to see if there is something else. First and foremost, to answer the question, what type of trauma is trying to get your attention. Some of you might resonate with having been discriminated because of your sexuality. This is a card that generally talks about duality, so could be even your sexual energy or how you express your sexuality in your own adult body. Perhaps you have like a male body, but you have a very strong female energy, and you express that. So this could be like not directly related to who your intimate, romantic or sexual partners are, but could also refer to. Okay. And let's start again. Or vice versa. Okay, so you might have like a female body, and then you have a very strong a masculine energy to yourself. Now, quickly disclaimer that I did for all groups. When I chose the title, what kind of trauma is trying to get your attention, is because sometimes trauma has like ancient roots. So this type of trauma might be something that has been either occurring really strongly in your past, or something that has been like really recurring in your life. And what's happening right now is that you are being called to be justice for yourself. So and that you are going to be successful. Okay, so if you are watching this video and you are going through perhaps a situation where you have experienced discrimination at work, Spirit is saying that as long as you have kept all the receipts, okay, like you might have really caught the motherfucker sleeping, text messages, emails, anything, okay, like even witnesses that might have reported to you that person A or B started stirring up shit just for the fact that you are who the fuck you are. Present it fairly, like this is me, this was me from day one, and this is what I have been victim of, this is what have been said about me, this is what have been said to my face. Those are the financial consequences of the behavior, of the discriminating behavior of that motherfucker, okay? And it's not fair because like I also have all the receipts proving that I have been acting fairly towards the motherfucker. And so yeah, you might have been blinded to the situation for a while. I'm seeing this right now, okay? Perhaps you might have been blinded to for a while, first and foremost, to the fact that this was happening to you right now, that you were being a victim of this right now. Or perhaps you have been blinded to the fact that you actually had all that it takes to be successful, that it's the right time for you to speak in your own favor. Perhaps you might have received threats or intimidation, okay? Take it as what it was. Threats and intimidation, because they are actually scared of you. Because if you tell the truth about who they are, their ass is going to be in trouble, not yours. You are just existing as you are. And you know, as long as you're not out there abusing people, there is simply no reason why someone should feel entitled to abuse you, even if they might get confused by your existence. But that's their problem, you know, that's definitely not yours. Okay, to dive a little bit deeper in this card, if you do not resonate with this like work situation and type of discrimination, there is still like something related to being able to see and accept a part of you. And know that this might even be, for some people at some stages, the raw and simple recognition that there is a part of you that is traumatized. Like, or that there is a part of you that is a certain way. There is a part of you that is different than what the immediate society that you have had around so far, or up until this point, would consider normal, okay? Perhaps the type of duality that you might resonate with is that you are a clairvoyant. So you are able to perceive information from the physical reality as well as the spiritual reality. And so I'm being called to the dynamic between this blindfolded figure and these other figures who are looking at each other in the eyes. Like this one is almost like a yin and yang type of dynamic. And what you're being called to do at this moment in time is to study yourself, to collect information about yourself, about your kind, about people similar to you, what could be like the general common challenges, what could be some unique challenges, how the phenomenon has been perceived in your geographical area up until this point. Like Google can become your best friend at this point in time, because the goal of whatever triggering situation, like you might be going through some sort of unfair judgment from someone who is judging you negatively precisely for a part of you that is a bit weak at this moment in time, because you never either had the chance or you never gave yourself the chance to study it in order to achieve a stage of actual union with yourself, where your dualities are able to look at each other in the eyes and work together. And now at this moment in time, you might be called first and foremost to learn more about yourself, and eventually also to stand up for yourself, to defend yourself. And like this might be like a stressful situation, like inducing some high levels of anxiety, but this is like a test from the universe, like, okay, how do you really know yourself? How committed you are to yourself? How willing you are to be naked and proud about yourself. And so even if you might have to go through a moment of confusion, like why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? You're also very likely to come out on top in this situation. So go for it. Go for it. As not only this might open the door for you to know yourself even deeper, but this could also bring you to new connections and to becoming able to even help others go through similar situations, perhaps like younger family members or other colleagues, or perhaps you are someone who has influence, and so by going through the situation as a learning experience, you will also be able to teach that to a large number of people, which is great, to be honest, because it's about time that this gray world collapses, and we just accept that there's a fucking rainbow of existing beings out there, and if someone's default behavior is to be a piece of crap towards someone, they are writing down in their own destiny that they are a piece of crap. Okay? Okay. You should believe in karma and you know how to work that. You might even be able to witness that unfold for the better of everyone's involved. So, yeah, that's all I have for you. Wish you strength. If you need further support to go through the situation, you can book a personal reading. The reservation link is down below. Other videos are available as well. If you need me to address you to other tarot readers that might have additional information on similar subjects, just leave a comment. I can link my favorites. If you're going, wish you good whatever you're going to have next. If you're staying, see you for group 4 because it's going to be the last one. Bye. Last but not least, group 4, this is your card. So, to answer the question of what kind of trauma is trying to get your attention, I have different scenarios for different people coming through. So quick exercise, you're going to have to look at the card and try to see if the central figure is you or someone else. From an energetic point of view, try to see if this feels like a mirror or an opposition, an opposing energy. The reason why I'm asking this is because the first scenarios that are coming through is that if this is you, you might be burnt out. So you have overworked yourself, perhaps even neglected like some key points in your routine, broke a couple rules, and now you're sick. Okay, so if you are okay, this is probably not your group. You are sick physically, you may also be sick mentally, you might be experiencing depression at this moment in time. And then the other scenario that is coming through, if this doesn't feel like you, if this feels like someone else, you might have been poisoned by someone. Like either like chemical poison, like someone slipped a pill in your drink, let's say, or perhaps even worse, someone might have been poisoning you slowly. I'm hearing black magic. Okay, so you might want to check my other videos about the subject and how in most cases it's usually family members and like close people who do that, people who have access to our cups, drinks, food, glasses, golden cups, buffets, resources, and all of that. And perhaps you might have worked hard to move away from the situation or to move away from a situation, and now you are sick, okay? And it also talks about beating yourself up for being sick, for not being able to rush forward at the speed that you'd like to. But you don't have to, okay? Like whatever the scenario is that you might resonate with, okay? Like toxic family members actually putting stuff in your drink and food, like you can Google that. It's something that is becoming quite mainstream, unfortunately, especially amongst young people, like using body fluids to produce a certain type of reactions and behavior, usually to have control over someone else. A sick person might decide to place their own bodily fluids into their drinks or food, okay? Can be urine, can be period blood. Those are like the most common. So it's really disgusting, first and foremost, from an hygienic point of view. Okay, this is why I am personally very, very strict about who I eat with, okay, who I receive food from. And if I start having like bad feelings about someone who I shared food or drinks or even broken bread with at some point, I am also very strict with cleansing myself from the person and never do that again. Like as soon as I get like either the download or the red flag, whatever, like I don't give a fuck how good you can cook. I can cook just as good and it doesn't poison me. You know what I mean? So this is a message for you to recognize your hard work in whatever the situation is, okay? So if you are not resonating with the poisoning black magic and you are more like on the burnout side, perhaps you might still want to analyze who you have been working with and for, because clearly those rhythms are not yours, are not ideal for you, because otherwise you wouldn't be ended like this, okay? So this might also be a time for you to be really strict about letting other people boss you around, okay? Like it might be comfortable to just say yes, because at least you don't have to like have an emotional reaction and have an actual response and stand up for yourself. But if the cycle is always like saying yes, of course, and running around doing all the work in a rush just to make a motherfucker happy, the motherfucker can be unhappy. I mean, as long as you're healthy, you were probably working with the wrong motherfucker. And this is a time for you to honor your hard work in the situation, to honor the fact that despite the obstacles and oppositions, you moved forward. But this is also a time for you to honor your healing and rest, okay? And that is in order for you to return to my very beloved friend, butt naked, super strong friend that is lifting a rock just like it was nothing. And it's going to be you, okay? Like if you take the time to really take your healing seriously, you're going to give yourself the rewards that you need, okay? The cleansing that you need. And this is a message that is common for each and every group. Like, at the moment in time where you have chosen to watch this video, because this is a timeless reading, whatever type of trauma is trying to get your attention is to bring your attention inward, to bring your attention towards healing, not to bring your attention toward battle. Unless there was one group who was like, let's go. But even that, the stress was put on learning how to heal yourself one battle after the other. Okay? And so this is a message about the taking the right time to heal, grieve, purge, cry out also, because if it was someone else who put you in this situation, you may also have to deal with some really heartbreaking revelations about the people that are actually around you. Like, I was actually eating with some actual monsters, guys, you know, and like I say it like this in a joke to get the message through, but really though, okay, like there was another group who had similar messages. Which one? I think it was group 2. It talks about dark night of the soul. So it's not like your soul is doomed. It's more like now your soul has to do some work in the dark, and you have to reprocess some information in order to place them in the correct category. Okay, so if the person who did this to you was in the friend category, in the family category, in the beloved, cared for category, the soul work that you need to do in the dark is to put them in the motherfuckers category. And to each their own method to deal with motherfuckers, okay? But first and foremost, you need to know who the people around you are, because you cannot act the same around just anyone, okay? Like, there are some really twisted and disgusting people out there, and so we're trying to keep it clean around here, okay? That's all I have for you. If you need further support to go through the situation, you can book a personal reading. The reservation link is down below. My other links are also down below. I have other videos available. If you need me to refer you to other tarot readers, just leave a comment and I can link you to my favorite. And that's it. You're definitely going, because this is the last group, so have a good whatever you're going to have next, and talk soon. Bye.